Hi, come in. I'm Bradford. You must be Julie.
Yeah, hi.
So nice to meet you. Please sit down.
Thank you.
I hope that your commute to get here wasn't too bad, and I hope that parking was pretty easy to navigate out there.
Oh, it was easy. It was really great to have that parking pass emailed for me. And thank you for telling me to park by the key sculpture. It made it easier to find the room.
Oh, good. I'm so glad to hear that.
It is a nice, healthy plant you got there.
Oh, thank you. It actually came with my promotion.
Oh, wow.
So I prepared some items to help guide our discussion, but why don't you give me a summary of your project?
Sure. We're interested in something called the drunkard's walk. We have this theory that when people stumble and they're drunk, they always stumble on the side of their dominant hand. And we wanted to look into that, and we wanted to get your input before we actually started the experiment.
So you're interested in a drunk person's walk. I appreciate you coming in before collecting data. That really is helpful. So can you talk a little bit more about the group that you're interested in?
Right. Well, we're going to recruit from college students.
That makes sense since we're at a university. How do you plan on recruiting these individuals?
We have asked some people from Psych 300 level courses.
Okay. What characteristics of these college students are you interested in, and are there any restrictions that you're placing on them?
Well, the big restriction is that we are asking for driver's licenses up front because we want to make sure that everybody is over the legal age of 21.
Yeah, and that makes sense.
And then there's some other things that we're doing too. We have this questionnaire that we've we've created, and we're asking prospective volunteers to make sure that nobody is in AA, to make sure there's been no prior offenses with alcohol, and to make sure that no one's allergic to alcohol. And we have cleared all of this with the IRB beforehand, just because it's alcohol.
And that makes sense since this can be rather sensitive. How many subjects are you measuring, and how will you be measuring those individuals?
Right now we have 151 subjects. We're going to record, first of all, their dominant hand, and then we're going to provide them alcohol in a controlled manner until they get to the standard level of intoxication. And once they're there, we're going to ask them to walk a 10-foot line.
So now that we know that you have 151 subjects and what characteristics you're interested in, would you explain how you're going to actually collect the data?
Right, our research assistant is going to record their dominant hand as well as their first step and their final step when they walk along that line.
Okay. And you mentioned that you're going to control intoxication level. Could you talk about how you're going to measure that?
Sure. When we provide the alcohol to the subjects, we're going to record and measure their BAC, or their blood alcohol content, with a breathalyzer. We will measure each drink until they get to a level of 0.08.
Okay. And do you know how you're going to be recording those measurements?
Yeah, right here. They're going to record the data on a paper right here.
Okay. Let me just look it over. Okay, this looks good. I just have a couple of questions here about what you mean by first stumble, and then also down here you're talking about in position.
Oh yeah, well there's the 10-foot line, so we're going to, when they start walking the 10-foot line, we're going to record whether they fall to the left or the right, and then they'll walk the line, and at the end we will also record whether they fall to the left or the right.
That makes sense. So you're recording what side they start on and then also what they finish on.
Yeah.
Okay, so next I'd like to further elaborate on my role as the consultant. Would you like us to enter the data for you, or would you like to handle that on your own?
Well, that would be ideal to have you do it, but I'm a little bit worried about funding. I mean, how much does all this cost?
Okay, so there are a couple of different tiers available for analysis, and the cost will depend on which one you choose. The costs depend on the data entry, the analysis, and the visualizations and presentations that you're interested in. So I'll give you a moment to look this over. How would you feel about one of our interns assisting you with the data entry and analysis?
Well, I mean, if that would keep the costs low, yeah, I'd be in favor of it. I mean, I'm sure your interns are very capable.
Yeah, I think that they would be more than capable to help you with this.
Thank you, but, well, how long will this analysis take after I finish my experiment?
So that depends on a couple of different things, and once I have your data, I'd be able to give you a better timeline. Typical issues that we experience are that we need to do some sort of data management or tidying up your data set. or also we might need to deal with some missing values. I believe that we should conclude this meeting by figuring out what we need to do between now and our next time. When you have some of the data collected, would you be able to send that to me in email so that I could check to see how the data entry is going?
Oh, sure. I can do that. And can I call or email you if I just have any questions?
Of course you can. I check my email daily during the week, and if it's on the weekend, it might just take me a couple of days to respond. And then I also have my phone listed on there as well.
Oh, great. Well, I will email you the data as soon as our study is finished.
And once you send that to me, we will start our analysis.
Okay, well, we should have the study completed in about 2 weeks, and then I will email you about setting up our next appointment.
That sounds great. Thank you so much for meeting with me today.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate your input on this study. Thank you so much.